In the nets, Chris Whitcomb, and it's Raj Waghale in the nets for Hartwick College.
Raj Waghale is off to a tough start this year. Coach Lennox, I know I talked to him a couple of times last year about Raj Waghale. He says if he comes into his own this year and he practices really hard during the summer, he could be a good goalie. A little bit uncharacteristic of Hartwick keeper, not being as good and as consistent as they have been in the past.
Well, graduation hurt Hartwick severely. Syracuse got back the services of Steve Morris, who was academically ineligible a year ago, and he is the top scorer for Syracuse.
10 goals, 6 assists as a sophomore. He came back this year with awful lot of enthusiasm. I played against him this summer. He was very excited about getting the season underway, and he's really shown an awful lot of leadership.
Hartwick is a perennial power, but when we talk about their style, the hallmark of a Hartwick team, is there any one thing that sticks out, John?
I think it'd have to be the discipline of all the players, the way they come out of the back, pass it up to the midfielders, and gradually move up to the field. You're not going to see a Hartwick team just running all over the place and kicking the ball wherever they want to. Very disciplined, very computerized, and maybe sometimes too programmed, if you will. Almost a dull game. But that's the way Lennox has been winning all those championships and getting into the NCAAs, and he'll probably continue doing the same.
Two teams played a year ago, and they ended up in a 3-3 tie.
Oh, Lennox.
Tonight's game is being brought to you by Coors, the original draft beer in bottles and cans. Coors, the original. By Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. By ADP, the way America gets paid. And by Drumlins, for golf, swimming, tennis, banquets, and all your travel needs, it's Drumlins.
It's the right shot at the right time for the top score. It's the bottom line. It's a new game. It's another round. The silver bullet won't slow you down. So come on, it's a cool light. It's the right beer now. To the good life, yeah. Good life, yeah. So come on, it's a cool light. It's the right beer now.
And here in the Carrier Dome, Syracuse coming in off of a loss to Cornell by a 2-1 score, a game in which the deciding goal was inadvertently knocked into the net by a Syracuse player. And Hartwick comes in off an impressive victory over the preseason #1 pick in the country, Harvard, by a 3-1 score. Hartwick won that game. Jim Lennox, the veteran coach of Hartwick, and 5 times he's had his team in the Final Four in the sport of soccer.
He's done a super job. He's got a national championship underneath his belt. But right on the other side, so does Tim Hankinson with Alabama A&M. Dave, we're talking about Hartwick's record being 5-5. You can't let that record fool you because they still have a very good team, and they had 2 big wins this week, 5-0 over Colgate, and Colgate's no slouch. And then, as you said, the 3-1 win over Harvard, which was the preseason pick as #1 this year.
Raj Waghale, the goalie, giving it up there to Will McCarthy of Hartwick. The blue-shirted Booters controlling the ball here, taking the opening kickoff in the early action, and they try to come out of their own end. Todd Jackson is number 8. Number 10 is Simon Temperley. We'll fill you in on the hometowns of many of these players as Syracuse contends for the ball for the first time, and a whistle will give the ball back over to Hartwick.
A typical opening as far as I'm concerned, Dave. Coach Lennox does love to play the ball out of the back. Almost a blatant type of play where they're just going to knock it around from side to side and move it up very methodically and look for the open man.
Going into the corner, intending there for Paul Conway, the outstanding freshman. He's got 10 goals already. Conway still with the ball in the corner. Conway being marked by Steve Morris. And it's going to stay in the Hartwick's possession.
Paul is having a great year. 10 goals, 1 assist, a freshman from Oregon.
First corner kick of the game.
And Syracuse really does need to be aware of this corner kick. It is coming early in the game. You'd hate to see a goal this early.
Whitcomb comes flying out to make the stop, and he covers up.
Nice play, Dave, by Chris coming out for that ball. One high for it. Needed to get to it because there were a number of Hartwick players there. We're going to see a replay of that last corner kick. And we're talking about how important it is for Syracuse not to get scored on this early. The senior comes off his line very well, showed an awful lot of strength on that play, and took the ball well.
There's Whitcomb. You didn't miss any action as Syracuse taking their time, coming out of their own end. Here's a lead now for Paulson. And kick to the far corner. Syracuse in pursuit, but they won't get there in time. Mike Burns.
Dave, that was a great ball by Fred Paulson. If that ball was on grass, Kevin Johnston would have got to it just in time and had a good opportunity for a cross. But it runs a little bit faster and quicker on this turf.
Syracuse heading the ball, trying to set up an offensive attempt. Here's Hislop directing it back. Intended there for Raymond Bruce. And in front, here's an attempt coming, and it's gathered in by the keeper, Raj Wakale.
That could have been a little bit more dangerous than what it actually looked like. Charlie Mullen basically pestering everybody as far as the Hartwick defenders were concerned. Unfortunately, Steve Morris just couldn't get enough foot on the ball to get it over to Charlie Mullen.
Simon Temperley, number 10, sent it back now to Will McCarthy. Syracuse will apply some pressure. Hartwick's got a man open on the near sideline. They go in the middle instead. Now they go to the far side. High in the air. Header breaking it up.
Chris Goles did a super job placing that ball down.
There's a nice lead. Hartwick with the cross in front. Headed out. Broken up. Hartwick gets it back. Here's the shot. It's going to be taken by Whitcomb. Wide of the cage.
Raymond Bruce did a super job just getting to that ball because Danford Heath would have been all alone on Whitcomb on that play. An excellent job by Ray to get to it.
Now back they go to Whitcomb. We're in the opening 4 minutes of the game. No score. Syracuse's last 4 games have ended up by identical 2-1 scores. They won 3 of those, and then they fell to Cornell. Hartwick with the near steal. 3 players hit the turf. There's Hartwick on the move. They try to set up Conway. He's ridden off the play, and the ball comes out to the near side.
Both teams scrapping for the ball very well. They're trying to get possession. Both teams look a little bit fired up out here, Dave, in his early going.
Mike Burns throwing it in. He takes the ricochet, and he sends it back. This is Todd Carpy. Too far, and kicked on the fly out of there, but they can't clear their zone. Now here's Conway again. Freshman out of Portland, Oregon.
And this is Paul Conway is one man you really don't want to give any room to shoot.
Paul Boyne with a shot, knocked down in front. Here's an attempt, score! An early score of the game by Heath Danford. Whitcomb made the initial save, and then the rebound came out.
Dave, we talked about it, how important it was that Syracuse didn't get scored on early because Hartwick College they're not as bad as their record indicates. We're seeing a replay of that goal. Number 10, Simon Temperley, does a great job just getting the ball square across the field, and Paul Conway just knocks it over. And we saw the finish on it. Danford Heath, a super shot.
It was not really an extremely hard shot. Whitcomb may have had a chance to stop that. He elected to take maybe one step and dive.
I think Heath Danford just placed that ball very well, and a soccer ball always tends to run a little bit quicker on artificial turf. But a very big goal as far as Hartwick is concerned. Syracuse can't start right away and pressuring like maniacs. They just need to basically keep their composure out there.
Back comes Simon Temperley moving quickly. Still on the move. The defense retreating. Now the pass is intercepted. Not much offense yet from Syracuse in the game. It's been dominated by Hartwick. They get it down into the corner. They're going to play it again. In front, knocked away by Paulson. Hartwick gets it back. Todd Jackson. Hislop trying to play the rebound. Hartwick gains control of it once again.
Hartwick is definitely the aggressor so far. They're really taking it to the orange.
David Gregson of Lancashire, England. Back it goes to Whitcomb.
Chris just needs to hold the ball for a little bit, let the SU players catch a little bit of a breather, and basically say, guys, they scored on us early. There's a lot of time left to play in the game, a little bit less than 39 minutes. Just keep your composure and keep playing.
Whitcomb has been saving about 83% of the shots sent at him and allowing just over 1 goal a game. So he's reached his average in terms of goals allowed. Syracuse down 1-0. 38 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the first half. Intended for Hislop, breaking up, taken away by Hartwick. The Warriors into Syracuse territory with Jackson.
Stay tough. Stay man, let's pass them off.
They were seeing a typical Hartwick soccer. Everybody just running to space, knocking the ball around. Heath Stanford wide open again.
He centered it. They're getting a lot of opportunities.
Fred Paulson saved the day. Paul Conlon was standing right behind Fred. If he wasn't there, he would have been alone by himself.
Nice plays. It's kept in by Mark Fish. Now Syracuse trying to get something started. Intercepted by the Warriors. They quickly send it back across to Jackson. Jackson trying to spot a man in the middle. It's headed on to the foot now of Gregson. And back it goes to Will McCarthy, 17. Will McCarthy is a junior out of Oneonta, one of the few, the only. Now McCarthy boots it way downfield.
And this is a great ball right here. Just a little bit too far. Just a little bit too far in front of number 6, Chris Goals, on that play.
Ray Bruce went back to play it, sent it back to Whitcomb, and now he has it again. Hartwick is leading by a 1-0 score. Too far for any Syracuse player to play it initially, but off the rebound, Syracuse had it momentarily, and Pat Conway intercepted and sends back.
A lot of these passes we're seeing, the Orange look very tentative. Should I pass it? Should I hold on to it? And this early game, even though you're down 1-0, you just can't give up right away. You need to keep yourself composed and into the game, and just continue playing. You'll play yourself into it.
Punted out of there by the keeper, Wakel. Sent back and in pursuit, and kicked out of bounds.
A little bit of lack of a communication between Raj Wakali there and number 5 for Hartwick, David Gregson. David could have knocked the ball back to Raj, but I don't think they yelled loud enough for each other to hear him.
Did he intentionally kick that out of bounds?
I think he heard Kevin Johnston running behind him, to be honest with you, and I don't think the communication between him and the goalie was that clear.
On the throw-in, Hartwick breaks it up and they take it away. Up to midfield. Now to the far side. Boyne got it over there. Here's a Hartwick boot downfield, intercepted by the Orangemen. Preston White, taken back by Heath Danford. Now Paulson for Syracuse. Danford keeps it in. Here's a nice opportunity beginning for Hartwick. Here's a shot from way out. Score!
A great shot. Todd Jackson really taking it well.
Oh, he's one happy man. Jackson firing it in from way outside. And Hartwick College leads Syracuse 2-0.
The first goal, number 7, Heath Stanford, really set it up. The second goal, he does it all over again. Simon Temperley knocking it over to Todd Jackson, who first times it upper right-hand corner, and an excellent shot.
Goal by number 8, Jackson.
So Jackson placing it perfectly over the leaping Chris Whitcomb, and it is 2-0 Hartford.
There wasn't anything that Chris Whitcomb could do on that last shot. It was a super goal for the Warriors. Todd Jackson not even waiting for it, first timing the ball, curved right in the corner of the goal.
Syracuse controlling the kickoff after the second Hartwick goal. That's about as far out as I've seen a goal scored here in soccer in the Carrier Dome.
You know, it was a great shot. It goes back to the old adage, I guess you really never know until you get that shot on target. But that's one thing that we have seen the Warriors do so far, is they have gotten a number of opportunities, while on the other hand, the Orange have looked very, very tentative, a little bit deliberate in their game, if you will.
We're 10 minutes into this first half. It's 2-0 Hartwick.
And this is something that I know that Coach Hankins did not want happening this early.
Now Syracuse trying to apply the pressure. Here's an opportunity, and down the plate is Wackale.
That was a great pass by Steve Morris, and he's the main man that the Orange really need to get involved in this game. If they have any hopes of coming back, they need to get Steve Morris not only for his goals, but he's got 6 assists and leads the Orange for the assist. The center midfielder's got to do an awful lot of work out there.
Intercepted by Syracuse. Pasquarella.
Nice move by Steven. And a great
Morris.
ball.
Downfield. Unfortunately, Kevin Johnson can't get there. Now here's Hartwick with a 2-0 lead. Off the double team they control. Going to the near side and kept inbounds. Now kicked deep down into the corner. Hislop in pursuit. High in the air. 3 Hartwick players closest to it as it comes down. And the whistle.
Ralph Pasquarella called for the charge. And this is something that the Orange also don't want to do is get caught in a counterattack, because that's something that Hartwick is very good at.
Pretty move there by 16 Mike Burns. His kick goes wide.
I think Mike just got a little bit over anxious. He says, geez, Todd Jackson scored that far out. Why don't I try it?
Whitcomb rolling it ahead. Blocked on the sideline by Danford.
Fred Paulson's got a lot of room to run.
Intercepted, broken up nicely by Cowan. Wackale with the easy stop.
Dave, with a little bit less than 33 minutes, the Orangemen don't really need to push up all over the whole field, because they do have a whole second half with an awful lot of time also in this first half. They just need to keep playing out there, match up all their players, and basically just not give up. It's too early.
Wackale's boot. Attempt made by Mike Britton on the play. Now is Raymond Bruce kicking it down. I'll send it back to Wackale, the goalie.
You're not going to beat Willie McCarthy on that much of a long ball. The junior's got an awful lot of experience in the sweeper back position, knows how to position himself at the right angles. Syracuse is going to have to start using the short 10 to 15 yard pass, and then with the hopes of opening up a 30-yard ball.
Conway and his goalie. This time he disdains the kick and throws it on the sideline and goes out of bounds. Inbounds, and now they go quickly to Steve Morris. Steve Morris' hometown is Burlington, Ontario. We have a number of Canadians in the game. Nino Gelich, number 19, losing it. Fred Paulson will throw in now for Syracuse. Orangemen trail 2-0, 31 minutes to go. Played by Wackale.
Dave, I believe that shot there from Mark Fish, about 45 yards, that was the first shot the Orangemen have had, and I don't even think it was intentionally a shot, probably a cross.
Lee Davison now with the ball, number 20. Sending it to Paulson, pursued by Danforth. Nice sliding kick in there. Up to the give and go, and it's intended for Hislop. Hislop playing it onto the right foot, faking. Hislop with a cross, kicked out.
Nice play by Kona, got to that ball very quickly. A little bit of defensive lapse by Willie McCarthy. I don't think he anticipated the bounce on that ball as well as he should have.
Ball does bounce high here off the artificial surface.
Absolutely, and if you think you're going to get to it as quickly as you would on grass.
15 minutes gone by is a lead for Davison with the left foot because he gets the shot away, and it's played perfectly by Wakale. That was Syracuse's best opportunity.
Mike Britton, a freshman from Rochester, a good-looking freshman. Good challenge by Mike. A great athlete. Should be a good one by the time he's a senior.
Danford going cross-field for Boyd. Syracuse sends it back, and Whitcomb is there. McCarthy's going to play at first now for Hartwick.
I don't think that long ball is going to work too well today. Mark Fish doing a good job defensively getting to it. Dave, I don't think that long ball is going to work too well today. Willie McCarthy, Hartwick sweeper, plays awfully deep. The Orange needs to knock the ball around within a 10 to 15 yard area, which will eventually open up a 30 to 40 yard pass.
Raj Wakale taking his time. How much is he allowed there, John?
Actually, they'll give you about 5 seconds, but I don't think the referees, to be honest with you, really time you. You could basically tell if somebody's really trying to delay. I don't know why would Raj would delay. He's winning 2-0. There's 30 minutes left to play in the first half.
Number 18 there is Paul Boyne out of Fruitland, Ontario. He's a junior. Fred Paulson for the Orangemen. Kicks it across.
Fred did a good job anticipating that through pass.
Once again, Syracuse overshoots their man, and Hartwick takes it away.
Todd Jackson was playing a super first half. Very quick on his feet.
Wakale really hasn't been tested too severely yet. Played off the head, then the chest, now the foot of Hartwick, but intercepted by Davison.
Unlucky bounce for Mike Burns. Pat Heath Danford wide open.
Up and off the foot of Pasquarella. Syracuse has it momentarily. It's out of bounds at the Hartwick bench.
Dave, that was a nice little attack by the Orange. They came right out of the back. They knocked it up the field 10 to 15 yards at a time. It starts giving you a little bit more room if you're on the attack. But they need to be patient. You're not going to send 20, 30, 40-yard balls against a team that's as disciplined as the Hartwick College is. And besides, the sweeper back is playing about 10 to 15 yards deep.
There's a nice fake. Moving into a shot that's intercepted off the foot of Kevin Johnston.
Kevin Johnston had a good opportunity, but unfortunately the ball is at his left side. About 15 yards out.
Now it's Will McCarthy. Once again, he is the lone Hartwick player from Oneonta. Nearing the midway point of this first half, Hartwick in the lead by a 2-0 score. Goals by Danford and Jackson. Davison playing it off his chest. Davison intercepting it, sending it to midfield. Davison back, kicking it down, intended for Hislop. He's got great speed. Kona Hislop stops on the dime. Tries to make the move. He does. He gets by one man, gets by a second man. Hislop in front. The ricochet is just wide. What a move by Kona Hislop.
A great move by the freshman. Worked very hard to get by a couple of players. Steve Morris needs to get needs to set the tone of this game as far as the Orange are concerned. He's the heart of the team with the 10 goals and 6 assists. That was a great ball. Kona Hislop did a good job beating his men. Willie McCarthy defensively for the Warriors, very lackadaisical on as far as his physical defensive is concerned.
Morris attempting the Syracuse corner kick.
Now Morris will attempt the corner. A header attempt, and it hits the crossbar, goes over.
That was a great head ball by Charlie Mullins, skying for that ball.
We'll get another corner kick coming.
And the Orange do need to make good use of these corner kicks. Both teams are within a 35-yard area of the Orange goal.
Same idea again. Down in the far corner. Syracuse is down 2-0. Flag goes up.
The Orange are going to get great. The Orange are going to get a great opportunity. Brian Scales was called for an obstruction on that play. Steve Morris will do the serving of the ball. The Orange need to get one right here. There's a great opportunity with 23 minutes left.
What's he going to try to do?
He's basically just going to fly it to the last post where all the big boys are, actually. But defensively, Hartwick did a good job.
Here's a shot from outside, played on the short out by Wachtel, and he kicks it out. A couple more opportunities, and Hartwick keeps Syracuse out of the cage.
Raj Wachtel did a great job just booting the ball up. Number 7, Keith Stanford, was all alone with Fred Paulson. I don't know what he was trying to do just by one-timing the ball in that play. He had a little bit more time to put the ball on the floor and hold possession.
Whitcomb's kick a little bit too long for the header. Hartwick is leading it by a score of 2-0. Goals by Danford and Jackson.
Remark.
Ball put in bounds by Hartwick. And in front, they can't afford another mistake here. The cage is open for a narrow angle shot, and it was attempted from outside by Cole Boyd.
That was a terrible case of miscommunication between the freshmen Mike Britton and Chris Wickham. Fortunately for the Orange, it didn't turn into disaster, rather.
Whitcomb not a happy man.
Number 16, Mike Burns for the Warriors, ran into Chris Wickham, shaking that leg a little bit.
Paulson's going to get to it first for Syracuse. Nino Galich, rather.
Paul Boyd did a great job knocking that ball. We're going to take a look at the last little flurry by the Warriors, where Chris Wickham and Mike Britton had a little bit of miscommunication there. The Warriors did a great job pressuring the Orangemen on that play.
It's out of bounds into the Hartwick bench. They quickly pick it up, throw it back in. Play there by Boyd. Boyd has it again. Boyd once more as he goes down. Ball intercepted by Davison. Headed back by Hartwick. High cross in front. Here's an opportunity and a save by Whitcomb.
A great save by Chris. Came up big on that play.
Hartwick keeps it inbounds, and now the whistle.
Hartwick's leading scorer, Paul Conway, had a glorious opportunity to get his 11th goal for the season. Chris Wickham came up very big on that play. A great save. That play right there could have basically broken this game wide open. The Orange have already dug a hole deep enough that they probably couldn't even come out of. They played Hartwick twice.
21 minutes to go. Ray Bruce has it. Bruce going downfield. It's intercepted. Taken back by Hartwick. They send it back to the goalie, Raj Wachtel. Got Will McCarthy right in front of him.
Raj is not in a hurry. 20 minutes left to play in the first half. 2-0 lead. He's going to take his time.
Kicks it high and deep this time. Headed by Syracuse. And the whistle brings down Paul Conway.
I think Raymond Bruce is going to get A little bit of warning from the referee on that last call.
No turn.
In the middle,
Pressure.
Jackson is number 8. He's off the ball now.
Yeah.
Here's a shot from outside, headed back in that same direction.
Pressure.
Hartwick is going to control it again. They've had the ball for most of this first half, taken away by Hislop. Man, can he motor. Look how fast he goes. Kicked it a little bit too far ahead of himself. He lost control.
Just a little bit over anxious on that last play. And fortunately for the Orange, on that bad pass by number 16, Mike Burns for the Warriors, Paul Boyne and Heath Stanford were standing all alone right in the middle of the field.
Remark, 18.
In front, headed out. There's another shot possibly coming. There's the open man. He boots to the corner, and Whitcomb has it easily.
Dave, the Orange defensively look very lazy and very tentative. They're not marking their men very tight. They're giving the Warrior players, especially Paul Conway, an awful lot of room up there. Number 18, Paul Boyne, is probably the smallest player out there all over this field. We're going to take a replay of that last little flurry by the Warriors. The shot may have been a little bit off target, but the whole buildup that the Warriors started from around midfield was just beautiful to watch.
And back it goes now to Wakale. He's only had to stop maybe 1 or 2 shots at most. Syracuse trying to get a good shot. With 18.5 minutes to go in the first half. From outside, it's headed toward the goal crease. And it's saved by Wakale.
And it's Charlie Mullen again getting his head to that ball. Raj Wakale looked like he misjudged the bounce on it, and Kona Hislop just could not get to it. Unfortunately, it's still 2-0.
Goal side.
Simon Temperley is number 10. Taken down is a Syracuse player by number 18, Paul Boyd.
Dave, we're going to see a replay of that last head ball by Charlie Mullen. Got to it first. It looks as if Raj Wakale misjudged that last bounce, and Kona Hislop just could not get good foot to it.
In front, played off ahead, taken back by Hartwick. Davison kicks it downfield for another Syracuse player.
Beautiful one-touch.
And it's out. It's a pretty good fake there by the Syracuse player Steve Morris. His shot from the narrow angle, taken down by Hartwick, and they look to clear, kept in by Syracuse momentarily, and here come the Warriors.
Steve Morris worked so hard to get to that ball. That cross just wasn't hard enough to get to the middle.
Number 7 is Stanford Heath. He has one of the goals for Hartwick. Number 8 is Todd Jackson from Seminole, Florida.
Dave, that was a beautiful build-up between Paul Boyne, Keith Stanford, and Todd Jackson. Unfortunately, number 16, who was receiving the pass, Mike Burns, just did not continue the pace of his run. Otherwise, he would have had the Orange defender beat.
Hislop got it back to Whitcomb. Whitcomb, a couple of steps and a punt, high and short. Headed back. And the whistle.
Raymond Brusso just a little bit over anxious. Very uncharacteristic of the sophomore.
16 minutes to go, first half, 2-0 Hartwick.
Come on, White. Come on, White. Let's go. Come on. Stay with it, Ralph. Stay with it.
Here's McCarthy's shot. Here's a shot and a save by Whitcomb. That was right on.
That was a great turn by Paul Conway. The freshman just shows so much confidence, just to show you how disorganized the Orangemen look out there. Chris Whitcomb just threw the ball to no one, just rolled out of bounds.
And we may have an injured Hartwick player. Down is Todd Jackson. The way he's holding his face might be a knee.
Ralph Pascarella enthusiastically into those rough fouls.
Well, you hope it's not a knee. And he's getting up in such a way that it probably is not.
Coach Lennox a little bit excited. Coach Lennox a little bit excited about that last play. I don't think he wants to see a player the caliber of a Todd Jackson getting injured. Dave, the Orange defensively just looked incredibly disorganized back there. On that last shot by Paul Conway, it was a great save by Chris Wickham, who just picked the ball up and just threw it to the right-hand side of the field, and there wasn't anybody there.
There's Jackson over the head of McCarthy, but he hustles back to keep it in play, and he makes the nice move right in front. That time defensive help for Wickham. But, boy, they're getting in close, aren't they?
Absolutely. I think the Orange look a little bit tentative defensively. They look very lazy. We're going to see a replay of that last play.
You can hear Wickham calling out the assignments. You get a man, you get a man.
Will McCarthy striking the ball hard and low, hoping just for a deflection. You know, Chris is doing an awful lot of work back there defensively, trying to match up his defenders with Hartwick strikers. That's not his job. His job is to concentrate on the game itself. As a defender, you need to be aware of where your player is almost all the time. Hartwick using the short corner, and Todd Jackson should get a great opportunity on this.
And it's high and wide.
That was a great idea by Todd, who shows a lot of confidence in his shooting ability, and why not after he hit a 40-yard bomb on that last one.
Talk about that short corner again, John.
That short corner, Dave, basically is used to get a man-up advantage because only one defender for the Orange will come out to meet the Warriors' two players.
Get the seats out of your eyes, guys, come on!
14 and a half minutes to go. Syracuse trying to get on track. They're fortunate they're down only 2-0.
Absolutely.
In the game, Charlie Mullen, number 5. They're going to leave it now for Raymond Bruce. Bruce out of Aberdeen, Scotland. Now number 18, Fred Paulson from Verona, New Jersey. Hislop. He's got all sorts of moves.
Great speed.
Beautiful shot. And actually a pass.
He used that left foot very well. Chris Wright did a good job getting to that near post, but it was guarded very well by a Hartwick defender.
Both Paulson and Pasquarella go down. Ralph is not exactly getting up quickly. He's up. With something to say to the official, he's down again. Did he bang his knee?
I think he's getting a yellow card while he's at it too.
That's insult and injury.
Yeah.
Ralph.
Well, I think Ralph is basically trying to argue with the referee as to why he got a warning last time with that foul against Todd Jackson, why Todd didn't get anything this time around. You know, when you're losing 2-0, you should have no business arguing with the referee. You should be concentrating on the game and how you can get back involved. You don't win or lose by a referee's decision at the 50-yard line.
But when do you argue with the referee?
You never. I guess as an athlete, you should never argue with the referee. You have captain, you have your coaches that argue with the referee.
But John, why should soccer players be different than anybody else?
I'm not saying the soccer players are.
Hartwick in blue leads it 2-0. This is Will McCarthy, a junior. Syracuse coming out. Morris getting it down. Too far, intended for the speedy Hislop.
Todd Carpy doing a great job getting to the ball.
Carpy is number 14. Wellington, Connecticut is his home. Simon Temperley, number 10 from Preston, England. Paulson's going to go back to play it now with 12 minutes and 35 seconds to go, first half. Whitcomb to the near side, where he's got Lee Davison waiting. They're making Mike Britton. Now Morris for Pasquarella, punches it ahead. Johnston overran it, knocked it out.
That was a good-looking build-up by the Orange. I'm sure Coach Hankinson would like to see a little bit more of that.
Played off the chest of Pasquarella. He'll throw it in now. He went in a crowd and overshot his man. Raj Wakale back now to play it. In the middle of Temperley, Simon Temperley from Preston, England. Off the hesitation move on the sideline, Mike Burns draws the flag and the whistle. Gives up the ball.
Mike Burns showed a lot of confidence taking on Nino Galich at the sidelines.
Mike Britton will send it in. Britton is a freshman from Rochester at 5'9".
I think they just caught Todd Carpy on the push of Kona Hislop. The Orange are going to get a good chance to get this ball in a dead ball situation.
Paulson to Hislop. Hislop trying to return it to Paulson. It's intercepted into a crowd. Syracuse heads it, breaks up the play. But instead, coming out of it is Paul Boyd.
What a pest he's been the whole first half. Will McCarthy just hitting a gem of a ball to Heath Stanford on that play.
Broken up in front by Raymond Bruce. Bruce, the defenseman, carrying it out. Up ahead for Hislop. Hislop with that great left foot. Sending it back now to Davison from Britton. Paulson to Hislop.
Excellent touch. Excellent touch Kona Hislop has. There's a freshman doing all that dancing out there.
And Johnston now along the side. In front, shot. Oh, just too hard and too high.
Dave, we talked about how important a build-up is and what it will do for a team on the attack. Basically, we just saw a perfect example. We're going to see a replay. The Orange did an incredible job from around the 50-yard line. Kona Hislop leading the attack to Kevin Johnston. Steve Morris just getting a little bit underneath that ball. But that whole build-up and the whole attack started from the midfield.
Shots are even, but the score is still 2-0 Hartwick. Get a little byplay here in front of the bench. Meanwhile, the ball is down in the end zone to our left.
Dave, out of Syracuse's 7 shots, probably about 2 or 3 were good quality shots. Compared to Hartwick's 7 shots, 6 or possibly even all 7 of them were excellent opportunities.
Substitution, number 14, Dave Crouch.
Dave Crouch is in the game now, number 14 for Syracuse. He's a senior out of Warwick, Rhode Island. Maybe he'll be the spark they need.
Another great ball by Steve Morris, the man that they got to get the ball more often to. He's beat his defender almost every time.
Hislop faking and giving up the ball. Nobody was there. A little too cute that time. Heath Danford in the middle. Syracuse has it in their own end.
We're seeing the Orange put a little bit more pressure, but this is what they're going to be vulnerable to, is the counterattack.
Mike Brittany looks to break it up. Getting a foot on it was Danford.
Dave, on grass, Heath Danford would have been alone on that play.
Mike Britton in the middle. Spotted a man. 3 blue shirts around the 1 Orangeman in white. That was Dave Crouch. And now Hartwick. Back they go to Wakale.
We're going to see the Warriors be very, very tentative with the ball with the 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first half and a 2-0 lead. I'm sure this is something that Coach Lennox does not want to do, is let the Orange back into the game by giving them a goal in the last 10 minutes.
Will they get defensive now, John?
They probably will. The game is winding down as far as the first half is concerned. Hartwick's got the 2 goals. A very intense game for the Warriors. The Orange are going to need to push some more personnel up front to get some more firepower, basically.
Those 2 goals coming 10 and 15 minutes into the game by Danford and Jackson. Johnston now. Pasquarella. Too far for Syracuse, and it's kicked into the seat.
Way up there.
Timeout, 6:55 remaining. On the ground at midfield. Syracuse with it. Orangemen with a record of 10-3. Deep one by Wakale, headed back by Syracuse. Here are the Orangemen trying to get it down to Hislop. Hislop nearly had it come in front of him for a shot on goal.
Todd Carpy with almost a sloppy pass back to Raj.
Kicked out by Crouch. There's your time remaining in the first half in a 2-0 soccer game.
Mike Britton's going to get called for a dangerous foul. Got his foot up awfully high.
We ask that you please return the game ball to the field of play, please.
Clock continues to move with 5:30 to go. The fan asked to return the ball to the playing field, and he obliged.
Good defensive play by Steve Morris on the freshman Paul Conway. Paul Conway has done a great job on turning on his defender so far.
A couple of headers trying to set up Syracuse and Dave Crouch. Doesn't get a foot on it. Bouncing back, the goalie comes out. He was pressured down there.
That was the first real mistake that we've seen by the Warriors so far in the first half. I don't think, as we said earlier, Jim Lennox wants to see Hartwick attack as much as they are right now with less than 5 minutes. They've got the 2-goal lead. He probably wants to see them just basically just try to relax with the ball and kill some time and continue doing what they've been doing. Is playing good fundamental soccer.
And into the stands on the near side with 4.5 minutes to go. There comes Mike Britton. Britton with Hislop crossing in front of him. Tried to hit Crouch, but he overshot him.
Just a little bit too far of a pass for Mike Britton.
Now Wakale has it once more, directing traffic. And on the call, the ball will go over to Hartwick. Warriors 2, the Orangemen nothing.
Two great goals by the Warriors early on has set the tone.
Keep going, Ray.
One of them a rebound shot, the other from way outside.
No turn.
Hartwick moving the ball very smartly. Into the middle. And an opportunity.
Paul Conway again showing great strength with the ball, turning on his defender. The ball just ran a little bit too far from him. With 3 minutes left to go, that would have been a disaster if he would have got a shot on goal.
Well, a goal here in the final minutes can really lift Syracuse's spirits. A goal by Hartwick would sink them for sure.
Syracuse can't pull all the stops out. It's too early. They've got a whole second half. By pulling all the stops out, what it'll basically do as far as defensively for the Orange Experience is really open you up, and you don't want to open up that much with a team with a great attack as Hartwick has.
Britton doing a good job getting it down to Steve Morris. Morris, oh, tremendous change of direction. Morris in front, out comes Wakale.
And a great cross. David Crouch's run was just a little bit too late to that near post.
This time Wakale throws it out of there. Wakale Hale averaging 1.89 goals against per game. Near side they go. A little bit of a push from behind, undetected. And the left foot of Britton sending it down. Morris gets there, but not before the ball rolls out, so Hartwick is able to inbound it in a hurry.
And they do quickly. Hartwick is very good on the counter.
2 minutes to go first half.
Back here, middle, Fred. Ralph, pick up man, Ralph.
Dave, we're seeing that clock staying at that 2 minutes. I don't know why. There's no 2-minute warning in soccer.
Well, it's been there now for about 15 seconds.
I'm sure the referee probably does have the official time on the field.
Okay, so the scoreboard clock still at 2 and holding.
Coach Hankinson loves it.
There's Tim in the white shirt on the Syracuse bench. High in the air, but wide of the cage and out.
Dave, I wonder if Coach Lennox from Hartwick has noticed the clock hasn't moved in about a minute or so.
That's Jim Lennox seated atop the bench. Not a bad assistant coach with him either, is he?
Oh, great player. Glenn Mooch-Meyernick.
Former pro. Yes, he played out in the Pacific Northwest and was able to recruit Conway. Played with his father in the old NASL.
And what a find Conway looks like to be. The freshman has showed tremendous poise out there on turning on all of his defenders.
Syracuse had the numbers their way momentarily as Raymond Bruce goes down. And now we get the whistle, and that is the end of the half. With the score, Hartwick 2 and Syracuse nothing.
Again, we would like to remind you that all Hartwick College alumni are welcome to attend the reception in the Orange Box during halftime.
I admit it. I was impressed.
And you thought this was going to be a waste of your time.
That ADP speaker got me thinking. By turning over my payroll to someone who's faster, more accurate, and less expensive...
Be freeing up your key people to do what you hired them to do. Produce.
Well, what about a company my size?
We're your size. It doesn't matter. 10 or 10,000 employees. ADP handles them all.
Sounds like you work for ADP.
Comes from experience. Been using them for years. The secret of my success.
It's not your success that concerns me.
Mine. You're in early. How was the seminar?
Impressive. Very impressive.
How so?
I've made a decision that will affect both of you.
Sounds serious.
Listen, we're in business to make a product, right?
Right.
That's what we do best, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I brought in ADP to do our payroll so that you two can be more productive. Makes sense. It's a sound business decision.
Make one phone call to find out how your company can be more productive. ADP, the way America gets paid.
It's halftime here in the Carrier Dome, and Hartwick with 2 early goals, enjoying that 2-0 margin. Well, we saw the first goal was a rebound goal that got past Chris Whitcomb, and here's the second one.
Hartwick did a great job just keeping possession of the ball. Number 18, Paul Boyne, just knocking the ball straight across to Todd Jackson, number 8. He did a super job striking that ball and following all the way through.
John, how rare is a shot from that far out finding pay dirt?
It really isn't that rare, to be honest with you, because the goalie usually does not anticipate a shot from that far out. And the shots that we have seen, 8 apiece for both Syracuse and Hartwick. Hartwick's 7 out of the 8 have been excellent quality shots. Syracuse's first 3 shots basically rolled to Raj Wakali. As far as saves are concerned, the Hartwick goalie, 7 compared to Syracuse's 5, but Syracuse, Chris Whitcomb, all 5 saves were excellent saves.
And the time of possession there, Hartwick controlling the ball 5 minutes more than Syracuse and really mounting an offense when they have the ball.
Absolutely. That time of possession, 95% of the time, can tell you who's doing the dominating as far as the game is concerned. You need to have the ball to get a shot on goal and to score the goal. If this continues as far as the second half is concerned, the Orange are going to be in for a long night.
All right, we'll be back with the second half right after these words.
the summertime, when a barbecue is what's on your mind. So chowing down, don't sit around. The silver bullet won't slow you down. Cooking out with a cooler sight. It's the right beer now. The good life, yeah. Good life, yeah, yeah. So come on in the coolest night. It's the right beer now.
Fans, don't miss out on the best football trip of the season. Let Drumlin's Travel take you to Boston. There'll be 2 ways to go. You can fly with Drumlin's on Friday, November 11th, spend 2 nights at the Marriott Copley, and return on Sunday. Or you can take the bus Saturday morning. You'll spend 1 night at the Marriott Copley with your return to Syracuse on Sunday. It's a great way to follow the Orangemen, and nobody does it better than Drumlin's Travel. Game tickets included. Give them a call at 446-4556 and follow the Orangemen on the trip of the season to Boston College in November. Syracuse huddled up as they get set to begin the second half. Dave Cohen along with John Karafalowski. It's 2-0 Hartwick. The Warriors with a record of 5-5, uncharacteristic for them during their long history, and especially under the tenure of Jim Lennox, as Chris Whitcomb walks back to defend the goal, which will be to our left and your left as you watch it here on Cable 13. Raj Wakale
on Heath Danford's goal.
Heading down to the goal to our right.
Second goal was scored by Todd Jackson at 9:33.
Heath Danford and Todd Jackson, the goal scorers in the first half. And as we get set, there was Chris Wright of Syracuse getting a start here in the second half. Underway now with the Warriors. Conway is number 11, a key man in that first half. The ball finally comes down to Paul Boyne. Boyne getting it ahead now to Heath Danford. Right away, here's Hartwick applying the pressure. Whitcomb comes out to gather it in.
That was a great attack by the Warriors. The buildup is the biggest key is to Hartwick's attack right there. But again, a lot of the Orange defenders looked a little bit hesitant. They didn't know which player to mark up on. Most importantly, you always need to go to the most dangerous guy, and not necessarily he's going to be the one. You may not be the guy with the ball.
In the middle, they drill it off the foot there of Ray Bruce. Steve Morris making number 7. Hartwick gets it back. Here's a guy who's played quite a game so far, Todd Jackson, number 8. Played off the chest. 3 men in front. Hard shot. Whitcomb dive save.
And it's Paul Boyne again with a great shot. Chris Whitcomb coming up big. This is not, excuse me, check that was Mike Burns with that last shot, Dave. This is exactly what I'm sure Tim Hankinson told the Orangemen players at midfield that they don't want to do, is let Hartwick come out there and build up momentum again.
Kona Hislop gets it back. Now McCarthy's going to run it down, and he'll send it back to his keeper. While Hartwick comes out, a chance to look at the last save by Whitcomb.
Mike Burns does a great job just getting to that shot, and Chris Whitcomb excellent in the goal so far. Dave, the shots that Hartwick have had this evening have been super opportunities. Hardly any wasted shots.
Pasquarella gets it back. Now in the middle for Bruce. Ball has some backspin on it, and Syracuse nearly was able to retain it.
Todd Carpy did a great job just controlling the ball with that spin over there. Could have been a little bit dangerous with Kona Hislop attacking.
Syracuse on the throw-in for Morris. 3 men around him. He threads the needle with a pass, but it goes out.
Oh, great little spin off there by Heath Danford.
And a nice move. Here's a shot, score!
And it's Paul Conway, the freshman.
His 11th goal of the freshman season. He wears number 11 from Oregon. And boy, you could sense that play might result in a goal. The way they had that throw-in and the 3-man rush.
The whole play started at midfield with Heath Danford just skimming the ball off the side of his foot. And Paul Conway did a great job beating Fred Paulson, who was the last defender defensively for the Orange. This third goal right here, 5 minutes in.